So now the next step we're going to is we're going to add functionality to the actual bottles that are going to be hit. And there's going to be physics involved here. So I'm going to just have you just follow along and do what I do and add what I have in the sections here for information and numbers and whatnot. Okay, so I don't want you to get too overwhelmed. Um, this may seem like a lot, but actually it's not. It's very easy once you grasp it. And from this point on, we'll be able to, from what we're learning, to be able to move on to do intermediate and advanced stuff down the road, which is the goal here. So again, now we're going to choose bottle one and we're going to go to attributes in the properties. And I want you to just look at this. This is exactly how you, don't worry about position, rotation, or scale. We've already taken care of all that. What we need to look at though is visible, collision, and occludes light. Okay, so just make sure those are all checked, and that's going to be the same for all the three bottles. Okay, but it will change as we go along for bottle one, bottle two, and bottle three, as you will see. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over to behavior, and we're going to add object moved by physics. We're going to click on that, and we're going to add some information here. And this is really easy. And again, I don't want you to get overwhelmed or get thrown off. You can play this back and look at it, and it may make sense to you, it may not, but in time it will. So as you see, we're going to choose cylinder because there's many other shapes here that we could use. But in this case, we're using a cylinder, which fits the shape of our bottle. We want to set the density. We want to set the density at 30. That's going to be like its weight. We want to give it a radius of 1.6. Again, you're going to fill all these things in yourself. Height is going to be 5. And you can copy this information here. There's really not much more you need to do. Just make sure everything is correct for that bottle, which is 1. Now we're going to move on to bottle 2. And bottle 2 and bottle 3 should be exactly the same. Again, we're going to choose cylinder. The density for bottle 2 is going to be 25. The radius is 1.6. Height is 5.2. And this has changed a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to go to bottle 3. Let's go back to the top here. Cylinder, density 25, radius 1.6, height 5.2, and what you see here. Okay, and that's it for the 3 bottles. So what we need to do now, however, if we have not done it yet, we're going to do it now. So we've just added to the gameplay functionality of physics. So now we need to go over to the publish, and we're going to go to this section here, publish settings, and we're going to go over to windows.exe, and this is where we'll be making and adding changes to our gameplay because it's going to be a desktop version, and this is where we need to be. So just kind of look at it very carefully here, study it, and you're going to be adding the same information on your PC. And this is what we'll be needing to do. But most importantly, too, we need to go to physics engine. And the default is always only collision. It's always set to that. So you have to choose physics simulation, and that's what we need. And that's what we're going to choose. Don't worry about these other tabs. That's later down the road, and that has nothing to do with this course. So we choose that. So at this point, we've now set the bottles up to have functionality in the physics realm to be able to be hit and move around, and when they're hit, like in real life. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this step, and let's go ahead and move on to the next step.